স্যার বলছিলাম যে অনেকে জয়েন হতে চাইছে থার্ড ইয়ারের, আপনি মনে হয় তাদেরকে এখনো জয়েন করেন?
থার্ড ইয়ার, আচ্ছা করতে বলে, জয়েন করতে বলে। So can I start now? হ্যালো, ওকে। তোমাদের সেকেন্ড আবার কটা থেকে ক্লাস হয় তোমাদের? মানে সেকেন্ড এখন ক্লাস নেই তো কিছু?
2:10 থেকে আছে।
ঠিক আছে,
আগে স্নান খাওয়া করতে হবে।
স্যার
বলো।
বলছিলাম যে ওই কালকের ক্লাসটা নিয়ে, কালকে কি আপনি ক্লাস নেবেন?
কালকে তোমাদের সেকেন্ড হাফে ক্লাস হচ্ছে না কালকে?
মানে স্যার আমাদের হোস্টেলে শিফটিং আছে, তো কলেজ ডেকে
হোস্টেল শিফটিং বলতে কালকে তোমাদের কলেজ আসছে না?
হ্যাঁ, কলেজে আসছি।
তোমাদের অনলাইনে ক্লাস শুরু হবে?
অফলাইনে ক্লাসের ডিক্লারেশন দেয়নি, কিন্তু হোস্টেল শিফটিং এর নোটিশ দিয়েছে আমাদেরকে। ওই বনবাস থেকে আপনার এপিসি তে আসবো সব, সরি আপনার জেসি বোর্ড আর এসএন বসে আসবো।
ও আচ্ছা, তোমাদের তো তোমাদের ওই ফার্স্ট ইয়ার থেকে তো ও তোমরা তাহলে এখন কয়েক বছরই বনবাসে আছো তাহলে?
হ্যাঁ, প্রায় 2.5 বছর ধরে বনবাসে আছি।
বাবা, অনেকদিন বনবাস। ঠিক আছে, তাহলে কালকে
হ্যাঁ স্যার, ঠিক আছে।
তাহলে কবে? সোমবার দিন করো তাহলে। সোমবার দিন হবে?
সোমবার দিন আসবে। ঠিক আছে, সোমবার দিন ঠিক আছে।
সোমবার দিন গার্লস হস্টেলে শিফটিং আছে।
তোর আবার শিফটিং কিসের?
আরে আমাদের তো নিচ থেকে উপরে তো উঠতে হবে।
তাহলে ওটা কি আছে, মাঝখানে ক্লাস করে নিচে থেকে উপরে উঠতে ক্লাস করবে?
সোমবার দিন তো
যেতে তো হবে ওখানে।
কি হয়েছে?
সোমবার দিন আলাদা হয় নাকি? থাকে না, আপনার তো বৃহস্পতি আর শুক্র ক্লাস থাকে। সোমবার দিন তো ওই ক্লাসগুলো আমি স্যারদেরকে ভেবেছিলাম বলবো যে না নিতে। স্যার শিফটিং করলে ক্লাস কি করে করব?
স্যার শিফটিং করলে ক্লাস করা হবে না।
স্যার আর ওরা যদি ছুটি পায় আমাদেরও পাওয়া উচিত।
হ্যাঁ, সেটা ঠিক কথা। তো আচ্ছা, যারা বাইরে তারা তো শিফটিং করছে না, তারা কি করছো?
স্যার ছুটিতেও ফেমিনিজম।
তাই তো দেখছি, কিছু বলার নেই আর। শোনো, তাহলে কালকে তোমরা ফার্স্ট হাফে ক্লাস করবে কি? বাট একদম মানে 10টা থেকে
ট্রেনে যাওয়া আসা করবো তো স্যার, মানে বাড়ি থেকে তো যাবো সবাই।
ও আচ্ছা,
যেহেতু বর্ধমানে নেই, সবাই বাড়ি থেকে যাচ্ছি।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে। না সেটা ঠিক আছে, সেটা অসুবিধা নেই, সেটা বুঝতে পারছি, সেটা সমস্যাটা। শনিবার দিন করা যাবে তাহলে? আমি তাহলে ক্লাসটা মিস করতে চাইছিলাম না, তাহলে শনিবার দিন করা যাবে কি একবার?
স্যার আমি আপনাকে নেক্সট উইকে যদি কিছু কোনো ফাঁকা থাকে বা কিছু থাকে, কখনো তো হয় যে কোনো ক্লাস হয় না, সেই টাইমে আমি তাহলে আপনাকে জানিয়ে দেবো।
ঠিক না, এখন যেটা হয়েছে কি বলতো, এখন একবার ক্লাস নিয়ে আবার কলেজ যাচ্ছি তো, ওই জন্য তোমার মানে টাইট হয়ে গেছে। আজকে ধরো কালকে যেমন সেকেন্ড হাফে যদি তোমরা বলতে 4:30 থেকে 5 থেকে করবো, শিফটিং হয়ে গেল তো আমার অসুবিধা ছিল না, কিন্তু কালকে তো কলেজ যাবো। ঠিক আছে, আজকেরটা নিয়ে নে, কালকেরটা ঠিক আছে। নেক্সট তুমি তাহলে ফাঁকা থাকলে বলো, ঠিক আছে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, আর আমাদের না ওই যেহেতু স্মিতা ম্যামের ক্লাসগুলো একটু লেটে শুরু হয়, তো ওই তার আগে আপনি নিতে পারেন, যদি আমি দেখছি যদি নেক্সট উইকে সেটা হয়।
না, আমার যেমন শনিবার দিন ক্লাস আছে, বুধবার দিনটা তুমি জোগাড় করতে পারলে ভালো।
বুধবার দিন আমি দেখছি স্যার, নেক্সট উইক বুধবার দিন হলে আমি আপনাকে।
ঠিক আছে। Okay, so till now we have discussed about the class and object and how we can declare the class object, how to write down the program using the class and object concept that we have already studied, right? Now today we'll start the another concept that is exclusively available in the object-oriented programming environment, not in the function-oriented programming environment, it is called the inheritance. Okay. So when we use the word inheritance in our daily life, what is the meaning of inheritance in our day-to-day life? Can you share something about the word inheritance?
একটা প্যারেন্ট ক্লাস তার যে সকল মানে যে এলিমেন্ট অবজেক্টিভ বা প্রপার্টি গুলো আছে সেগুলো তার একটা চাইল্ড ক্লাস গুলোকে দিবে, লাইক ইনহেরিটেন্স, যেমন আমরা আমাদের মানে বাবার কাকা থেকে পাই, সেরকমই
Fine.
এই ক্লাসটা ইউজ করতে পারে
Okay.
প্যারেন্টস ক্লাসে।
Okay. What is the advantage of that kind of thing?
আপনাকে আর স্পেসিফাই আবার প্রত্যেকবার ওই মানে প্যারেন্ট ক্লাসের জিনিসগুলোকেও চাইল্ড ক্লাসে আবার ইন্ট্রোডিউস করতে হবে না, চাইল্ড ক্লাস ডাইরেক্টলি ইয়ে করতে পারে।
That means it can give you the flexibility of reusability of code. Reusability, that what you are telling, that is actually software engineering point of view, it is called a reusability of code. Okay. That means once you have written the code, if you are going to develop the same thing, but another thing, but some part of the part is already developed in some other code, then you can inherit that code. That is the flexibility, and it is the important feature of the object-oriented programming environment, not only in the Python, because Python is a one object-oriented programming language. That's why it is offering the inheritance property. Now, what is the advantage that is the usability of the code? Suppose you are going to declare one class. The class is the student class, or another class is a teacher class. Okay. So that class, another is the staff class. Okay. But if you see all the three class, then you will observe some features are common to each of the class. Some features are common to each of the class. So those features can be written in the base class, in the parent class. And from that parent class, we can inherit the common property, and whatever is exclusive in your derived class, that can be written separately. That is the concept. Can you see the screen? So, this is the base class, and suppose this is the one module A. It is already written, already developed. Now I want to develop another module of some software program B. Now you are observing that some part of B is similar with A. Some part of B is similar with A. Then what you will do, instead of writing the same code again in the B, you can, by using some command or some syntax, you can directly inherit the property of A in the B class. And then you can add your own requirement that is required exclusively for B. That is required exclusively for B. So now this is called the base class. Base class, and this is called the derived class. So this is called the inheritance. Okay. So we'll see later. We can go through different kind of inheritance in the literature. Okay. So first we'll quickly jump into the one problem, that is the teacher and the student. Okay. So first we'll see the syntax. So student person is the one class. and that person class, this person class P is derived in the two class, one in the teacher class, another one in the student class. That means there is something common between teacher and student. That part will be put into the person class. Okay. Now the point is we can go either top down or bottom up approach. Okay. So you develop the first parent and the person class, then you inherit the teacher class, inherit the person class in the teacher class, and as well as student class. Okay. So either bottom up or top down. Okay. That is based on your application and your implementation point of view. Okay. That means which one will be implemented first. Okay. So here I am creating the first base class, that is the class person. So in the class person, you see we have the first method, that is the self init self comma name comma age. So during the initialization of the object on the person class, we have taken the two variables, one is the name and age. So name and age is a common parameter for both teacher class and the student class. Okay. Now what we have done, we have inherited the teacher within the person class within the teacher class using this command, teacher person colon. Fine. Now we are defining the particular init method in the teacher class. Here you see we have used the pass the 4 argument. I'm not considering the self, this is the default one. So apart from the self, we have the 4 argument, name, age, experience, and the search area. Okay. And you see the person here, we are not initializing the teacher with the name and age, but what we are doing, we are calling the person dot init self dot comma self comma name comma age. That means since we have already inherited the person class, that's why I can call that person initializer. Okay. And remaining two other variables, self dot experience and self dot research area. These are the two variables that is exclusively for the teacher class. Okay. Next one, we have the one function that is the display function, that display is used to display the member of the person class, self dot name and self dot age. Here also we have another one, that is the person dot display. So when I am defining the display data, the display data is exclusively for the person class. Okay, sorry, the teacher class. So within the display data, we are calling the person dot display, just like the previous one, person dot display. That means we are calling the one function, one method from the another method that we have already studied. Next one is the print the experience, self dot experience, and research area, self dot research underscore area, r underscore area. So that is exclusively for the teacher class. And now if we write the next one for the student class, if we draw the next one for the student class, So what will be the new one? Again, we will class student person def init self name is these are the common marks. In person dot init age and then self dot marks
display dot.
এটা self person dot display self int course name self dot course print marks self dot marks okay. Print so okay now s equal to student xy z s dot display display data just a minute
Sir, name comma age হবে স্টুডেন্ট ক্লাস।
কোনটা বলো তো?
সো ওই যে ক্লাসটা ডিফাইন করেছেন স্যার স্টুডেন্ট, ওর মধ্যে স্যার সেকেন্ড লাইনে নেম ডট এজ লিখেছেন।
ওটা সেলফ ডট হবে,
নেম কমা এজ হবে।
ও হুম হুম okay. So this is the, so here we have the one base class person, and that is derived into two derived class. One is teacher derived class, and another one is the student derived class. Okay. Now you see one thing along with the inheritance, that is the init function. The init function, particularly init function, is overwritten. The name of the inherit function is same, but sorry, this one. Here we have defined a one init function, here another init function, and here another init function. But you see, this is called the kind of polymorphism. The polymorphism in simple term refer to having several defined forms. The name is same, the init. So this is the another common feature of the object-oriented programming, the polymorphism. The name is same and the form is different. Okay. So actually, whenever we are applying the polymorphism inheritance, sometimes we have to apply the polymorphism. Why? Because something is defined in the base class. That is exclusively for the base class only. Now, when we are deriving the base class, in the derived class, then requirement of the derived class may be defined apart from the base class, defined compared to the base class, and that can give you opportunity to apply the polymorphism. Suppose the base class is the shape. Shape is the base class. Shape, draw. You want to draw, and method is the one. Draw is the one method of the shape base class. Now this shape base class has been derived in the three defined kind of derived class. One is the circle, one is the rectangle, another one is the triangle. Now tell me, to draw the circle, what is the requirement? To draw the circle, what is the minimum information is required to draw the circle? The coordinate position of the center coordinate position and the length of the radius. Yes or no?
Yes sir, radius.
In case of rectangle, there is no question about the radius, so we have to provide the starting coordinate position and the length of the height and width. If you know the starting coordinate position, suppose I am starting from this position, suppose x and y, and what will be the length of the x-axis and y-axis? If I suppose this h and w, then I can calculate the x plus h and y plus h, so I can draw the rectangle. Okay. In case of triangle, what is the minimum information? to draw the triangle. Yeah. What is the information required? Draw the triangle. Triangle draw করতে কি কি ইনফরমেশন লাগবে আমার?
3টে সাইড।
If I want to draw the polygon, then I have to enter all the list of the sides and maybe the coordinate position. So you see, the draw is when draw will come in under the circle class, that will work differently. This in the rectangle class, this argument will be changed, as well as that when it comes to the triangle class, the argument will be changed. Okay, so that is called the polymorphism. Okay, and polymorphism that can be the polymorphism can be achieved by the operator, the method overriding. Method overriding. Overriding means the overriding is the ability of a class to change the implementation of a method provided one of the ancestor. Ancestor means the base class. It is an important concept of OOP since it is exploits the power of inheritance. So actually, when we are performing the method overriding in the Python, we have a freedom to override the definition that we have already defined, that is already defined in the ancestor class. This is the base class. Okay, we can redefine it. In our example, you see here the init class, init method, and as well as the display. Display is the name is different, so okay, no problem. So, but init, this is different in their teacher class as well as the student class. Okay. Now we'll apply one function. Okay, so this example is only for the very simple. We have the one base class and we have the two derived class, the method, the initializer, and the other methods has been inherited from the base class, ancestor class. Okay, we will use the another one. Okay. So I will apply one function print So actually we're testing a particular class is particular object is derived from the particular object is class, the object of the particular a class that we have to pass the value in the argument. So here you see T is teacher, T is a teacher, So is it true or false? So in instance P comma teacher. So first you have to pass the first argument is the object that you want to check, and second is the argument that is the name of the class that we want to check. Okay. Now, if I write the person class, so what will be the output? Person. It will be yes or no? It will be yes or no? It is true because we have derived it on the base class. Now, if I write and this is also S. All the here it will be S and it will be S. Both are will be S. Okay. Okay. So this is true. So you see here, both P is a teacher, that is instance of teacher class, yes. Is it instance of the person class? It is also yes. In case of student, it is instance of the student class, yes. Person class, yes. Now we'll check the another thing, that is student instance of teacher class. That we'll check. Is it true or is it, as per your view, it will be true or it will be false? It will be false, because you see, as per figure, we have created a T. T is the object of teacher class as well as the person class. S is the object of student class as well as the person class. But S is not the object of student class, teacher class. Similarly, T is not also the object of student class. Okay. Now I'll create the another object that is called the P. P equal to person /60 and P dot display. Okay. And so P this is the P and this is the person But okay. You see, it is instance of P person class. Yes. Is it instance of teacher? No. It is not the instance. It will I know not the instance of teacher, or it is neither or the instance of the student class. Okay, so it will be false. Now, any question? Okay, so next one is the is subclass. Is subclass. So this is the another so we can stop it here. So here you can stop it, and so person subclass means the derived class, subclass of teacher. So is subclass. So I'll modify the statement subclass teacher and so this is false. But so basically these function that is instance and is subclass is the two function that using those two function you can check the derived class and the base class relationship. Who is the under the subclass, who is under the base class, that you can check. Okay. But if you do the reverse one, yes, it is true. Similarly, if we execute it for that student class, it will be true. If we write student is a subclass of person is a, so here you have to write. So here the statement will be changed, otherwise teacher. Yes. Okay. So if I do it for the student class, then similarly you will get the information regarding the student class with the true value. Okay, this is also true. Okay. Now, the defined kind of inheritance. So normally, that is a single inheritance that we discussed here. That is a single inheritance. We have the only one base class, and that base class is derived into the two subclass. Okay. Now we have the multiple inheritance. Okay. So before going to the details of the multiple inheritance, we'll discuss the another problem, that is the problem is the similar kind of problem. Okay, so I'm just writing the problem here, then we'll explain. Okay, write a program that has a class person inherit a class faculty. Can you see the statement, problem statement? ঠিক আছে আমি বাড়াচ্ছি। Write a program that has a class person inherit a class faculty. Okay, it is capitalized. Faculty from the person which also has a class publication. So what will be the class? Can you identify what will be the total class? Person, faculty, and the publication. Can you implement this? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So we can try.
Okay, you just try it. You just take the only 2 or 3 the variables only, not more than that. You just try to implement. Okay, you just I am just making this thing more simpler. Okay, you just define the class person and inherit the class faculty from the person. Okay, you just remove the publication at this moment. No need to consider the publication. Okay. this only. Are you doing the problem? Hello?
Sir,
Hello?
Yes, sir, we're trying.
Okay. Hello? হ্যালো। এই তো ক্লাসে নিচ্ছি, তো একটু পরে কল করবে? তুমি আমাকে সবচেয়ে ভালো সন্ধ্যের দিকে করো।
sir, question, but
হ্যাঁ, দেখো। দাঁড়াও আমি স্টপ শেয়ার হুম, 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 হুম। আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। ঠিক আছে। ঠিক আছে, স্টপ। So in the base class, when we have a multiple base class, so this is the B1 and this is the B2. Okay, and that we want to combine in the one D-type class. That is called the multiple inheritance. So you are getting the money from your father as well as from your uncle. Okay, that kind of thing. So you are getting the information, the member, data member, as well as the method from two base class, more than one base class. That is called the multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance. So how you can implement this one? Okay. So you can implement def base 1 def NIT self. Basically, we will not take any argument here. So print base class 1 is the base class. Second one is the 2. Okay. Next. Two. Print So, okay, so this is the base class. So this is a multiple inheritance. Okay, so we can implement the multiple inheritance. Say for example, real life problem. Can you give any example of where we can adopt a multiple inheritance? Can you give any example where we can adopt a multiple inheritance? That means we have to work with the two defined base class. In software engineering perspective, any real life example. Suppose student management system or library management system. হতে পারে basically. So you need to access the two defined folder. So defined folder, you have to access both the folder, then we have to derive the restore the store the data in a third folder. Okay, that is the one example. But actually I want to know on the software, that is the application like that, the software engineering point of view, the implementation point of view, or banking sector, or any college management system software, any kind of thing. Suppose in a student class, can you apply the multiple inheritance? You see, that means the student information. So student information, okay, is the one class. Suppose the information is the general information is one class, okay, and that information can be used for the employee also, okay. But when you are preparing a result, you will access the result class as well as the student information class. But at the same time, that student information class can be used by the library management also. The same student information class will be used with two different other classes. Okay, that is the first example, that you have the student information class. You have the student information class. Information that is one for the result of the exam, another one for the library. Okay, And now, when you are preparing the result that can be student information and marks. Student marks. This is another class. And prepare the result. Okay. And if you remember the class diagram, I told regarding the class diagram. So when you can able to clear idea about the class diagram, then you identify the how the one class is interacting with the other class. Because once you have identified all the classes in the system, then you have to impose the defined relation on those classes, because it is a inheritance is a relationship. Is a relationship. Is a. Okay. So it is a relationship. That means teacher is a person, student is a person. Here the student information that is derived in the exam class. Okay. So that kind of relationship you have to build up in the class diagram. And after identifying the relationship, you can implement the method. Because when you are accessing the class variable or object variable, you have to know which variable will be accessed by which type of method, which kind of method, and that method will be invoked by the same class or any other class. Suppose you have developed a one method for the student marks, okay, and now that should be invoked by the result class. Okay. So this is the basic idea of the inheritance. Next day, we'll implement the inheritance using the more complicated example. So generally, generally I took the one example, that is you can develop one Python program using the inheritance property for the complex number. Because you see the complex number has no inbuilt library, right? Normally the complex number operation on the complex number is totally different from the operation on the other general numbers. So we can develop the one class, also the object, for the complex number system, and we can perform the defined arithmetical operation on the complex number. Okay, so you try to implement this one, and next day we'll discuss the more complicated the inheritance. Okay.
স্যার আরেকবার প্রোগ্রামে যান।
যাই। তো এই যে প্রোগ্রামটা,
না স্যার এর পরেরটা।
আচ্ছা বলো। ওহো না দাঁড়াও, বলো। This is the basic structure. This is not a complete program. This is the basic structure, just a basic idea.
স্যার আমার একটা প্রশ্ন ছিল, দেখবেন আগের প্রোগ্রামটা? হ্যাঁ আমি করেছি, যেটা ও দেখা।
বলো। দাঁড়া আমি স্টপ
স্যার এই যে দেখছি
তোমারটা তুমি স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করো না, সেটা হবে। আমি স্টপ করে স্ক্রিন শেয়ারটা স্টপ করি।
দেখতে পাচ্ছেন
না
এইখানে
তুমি স্ক্রিন শেয়ারটা করো, নাহলে বোঝা যাচ্ছে না, একদম ছোট আসছে স্ক্রিনটা। স্ক্রিনটা শেয়ার করো।
করছি স্যার, কম্পিউটার থেকে লগ ইন করছি।
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে ঠিক।
স্যার এখানে বলছিলাম যে এই যে ফ্যাকাল্টিতে আমরা যখন ইনহেরিট করে ডাকছি, তাহলে এই ফ্যাকাল্টি মেম্বার ইজ অ্যাভাব এই অপশনটার আগে হচ্ছে মাই নেম ইজ স্যাম, মাই এজ ইজ 35, এটা কেন দেখালো না? আগে তো ইনহেরিট হচ্ছে, আগে তো ডিসপ্লে করবে, তারপর তো এইগুলো আসবে। হ্যালো স্যার।
হ্যাঁ হ্যালো, মিউট করা ছিল, সরি মিউট করা ছিল। হ্যাঁ বললাম ওটা আমি পরের দিন ডিসকাস করব, ওটা কোন অর্ডারে আমি ইনহেরিট করছি, ঠিক আছে? তার ডিপেন্ড করছে আমি এটা কিভাবে ডিসপ্লে করবে, সেটা বেস্ট ফার্স্ট বলে একটা টেকনিক ডিএফএস করেছো তোমরা? ডিএফএস, গেট ফার্স্ট সার্চ, যাই হোক বলে দেবো। তো ওর জন্য ওটা হচ্ছে। নেক্সট দিন বলো।
ঠিক আছে।
ঠিক।
স্যার অ্যাটেন্ডেন্সটা
লিঙ্ক দিয়েছে দেখ।
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
দিয়েছে।